Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm finishing and resuming the progress on my 600cc Crosskart. So in today's video, we'll build things like this cool exhaust, build a sequential shifter, big brake kit, custom pedals, and the whole 9 yards. After we get all the bugs worked out, the goal is to actually street legal this thing with the help of a company. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So now what I'm going to do is mount the seat, then we'll build a crossbar for our seat belt harness. Alright, we got the harness part in. Now we need to make tabs for the seat belts. Alright, let's see how fast we can get out. I mean, it's going to be kind of harder than that though, with the steering wheel. Alright guys, so I got the seat and the harnesses mounted. The next thing I'm going to move on to is relocating the steering rack. I just want to get as much foot room as I can, and then we'll be mounting our master cylinder and hooking up the brakes. Okay, so I welded my steering rack. Now I have to connect it to the steering quickener. Now guys, I've way underestimated how much time this project was going to take to finish me by a mile. There's a lot of stuff to do. There have been quite a few people saying, you know, why do you have to redo so much stuff? You know, there's CAD for that. Truth be told, I started this project almost 2 years ago and I've evolved a lot since then, and I am really picky. There's a lot of things I just don't like. So that's why I'm redoing them. And would have CAD saved me time? It probably would have, but I'm kind of just lazy. And besides, CAD takes like months to learn. CAD is just, I feel like, is absolutely unnecessary for what I'm doing at this scope right now. So yeah, back to the steering. Alright guys, check that out. So I removed all the A-arms. We are now gonna weld everything, and I might as well just paint them while they're all out. So yeah, there's gonna be quite a lot of welding.
The next day.
Alright guys, So I'm installing a quick release steering hub so I can get in and out faster. Alright, so I put the A-arms and the steering together, and this thing is coming together really nicely. My vision for this thing is finally coming to light, and I can't wait to drive it. I think we'll actually be driving it in the next episode. Knock on wood, though. What I need to focus on now is the pedals and the brakes. Now, I looked on eBay. A nice pedal set is like $300, and I don't really want to spend that, and I think those pedals are just too big. So I think I'm gonna make my own pedals. Okay, so I'm mounting the shifter, and I was thinking, you know, we could actually make it to where we won't have to lift our hands off the steering wheel. So I finished the shifter and I'm pretty happy with it. I can actually upshift without even letting go of the steering wheel. It's basically a paddle shifter, but there's only one paddle. So the downshift, upshift, pretty neat. I'm happy with it. So I think what I'm gonna do now is make some pedals, hook up the brakes, and then start doing some of the tedious stuff after that. Right, so about an hour of cutting, grinding, and drilling, and we have these nice little pedal stems. So I'm gonna go ahead and start building the pedals. Alright guys, I got the pedal assembly done and mounted. I actually got my brakes bled and they work really good. So one thing I will need to do is just reinforce the master cylinder and the pedal mounts, and then we should be good to go. Okay guys, I'm in the process of making a big brake kit for these spindles. This is the original single piston caliper. There's no way this is going to stop the 600cc's of Fury. So what I'm doing is I'm going to dual piston calipers. So these are YFZ 450 dual piston calipers, and these actually bolt up. I've drilled new holes and tapped them. And the one thing, if you want to do this, you will have to run some washers behind the ears, and then I did grind some material off the ears themselves too. So yeah, but this actually should be way better than the stock setup. So our double piston brake conversion is complete. Fits really nice in there and it clears the wheel. Alright, so this is my version of a redneck belt sander. But anyways, I had to put some taper on these axles, that way I can weld it together. In the last episode, we had to take about an inch out of these axles. So yeah, it actually seems to be working just fine, although it is pretty scary. So now I'm going to weld the CV axle up. So I've tapered them and then I made this external positioner to keep it secure. So after we're done, I'm just going to cut it off. Alright guys, so we got that axle welded. It does seem to be pretty straight. So what I gotta do now is cut the sleeve off and finish welding it and grinding it. Alright guys, so now let's work on mounting the radiator. So here I have the one off the stock bike. It does fit in there, but I do not like the way it looks. It doesn't really conform to the frame very well. So what I have here is a mini Rover radiator, and very similar size actually. With this radiator, the coolant flows sideways, and then with this one, as you can see, the vanes are pointing downwards. So this is a gravity, and then this is a cross flow radiator. So what I'm gonna do is actually convert this thing to a cross flow for extra cooling, and it'll just fit in nicer. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna have the radiator sit somewhere right there. We're gonna relocate the filler neck. Originally, I did want to have it here in the front, but I just kind of realized that the cons are going to outweigh the pros. For example, the radiator won't actually be higher than the engine, and just having it right here, I'm going to have to build ducting and heat shields from our legs. So I'm going to toss that idea. Yeah guys, I didn't see any leaks. The radiator passed the leak test, so that is really good. Alright, so here's the radiator all finished. I even used a stock fan, that way it would give me less headache. But yeah, we got all the ports on there all nice. We even got a bung for the oil cooler. So yeah guys, it came out really nice. So now let's go ahead and actually mount it on the frame. Alright, that looks about good right there. Alright guys, so I'm actually going to pressure test the gas tank. Fingers crossed we won't have to fix any leaks. But I went ahead and bolted on the fuel pump. Hopefully this doesn't damage it, but we want to give it like 3 psi. The whole flange is leaking. I don't know if we'll be able to fix it. Maybe I'll try either an O-ring or a rubber gasket. There is a paper gasket under there. Alright guys, so I replaced the paper gasket with the rubber gasket I got from a motorcycle tube. So I'm actually pretty confident that should do it. Oh, okay, it's leaking from the inlet on the fuel pump. That's good. Alright guys, we are finally moving along and I'm finished with all the aluminum welding. The gas tank passes the pressure test and so does the radiator, so I'm pretty stoked with that. Guys, just working out of this small garage, it gets crammed in here really quick, so I do apologize for the mess. So now I'm going to start working on the exhaust, and I want to point it as far away from the gas tank as possible, you know, in the event of a rollover or a leak or something. I don't want it shooting flames anywhere near the gas tank. What I've decided to do is just shoot the exhaust out from this little window right here. Just have it 180, and then the exhaust will go straight under the headers. Basically just 180 off the headers, and then the muffler will be sticking out somewhere in this area, you know, like this. It's going to be away from the gas tank, and people will actually be able to see it shoot flames. So I could imagine these headers getting red hot, so I don't want to have this muffler in there like that. I want to have it probably like that. Alright guys, we got that exhaust done and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be really cool just to look over your side and see flames shoot out. Now I do believe this loop right here will actually give it a tad bit more bottom end just because it's creating more back pressure, and back pressure is actually a good thing for these engines. Alright guys, it's going to be a wrap for this video. I got a lot of stuff done and this thing is getting really close, so I'm super excited to finally drive it. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, and if you want to see some behind the scenes and updates, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vasily Builds. But yeah, I gotta give a big shout out to HDP Welders. With that being said guys, I have to catch you in the next one. Stay tuned and peace.